whether you ask me via private messaging or you ask me just on my timeline on the Facebook group, feel free to ask your questions. I'm trying to so also share this on YouTube. I hope I'm able to answer your questions today. So I'm going to try to go. This is really a test. This is the first time I'm doing this multi. So please bear with me, but it's to inspire my learners. You know, like this is basically when I'm teaching you, I know it's muscle memory and we're building muscle memory and it's a new way of looking after your hair and it's mindset shift. And so that's what I'm practicing, like you guys, mindset shift. Right. Please bear with me because it took me a while to work out everything. So, and it's late in the UK. So let me try and answer question 1 about color. I'm asked about color and knotted locks. First of all, let me explain that knotted locks is a methodology to keep your small size locks separated. It is a method to keep your small size locks separated. It is not a hairstyle. So there's no like fixed mandatory, because you've got knotted locks, it needs to be in a grid, it needs to be done this length of time. It doesn't. Like, I'm trying to take you guys back to your natural hair. You know, when you're kids and your hair flourished. And why did it flourish? Ask yourself the question, why did it flourish? And it flourished because it wasn't disturbed, it was left alone, it was wet when you needed to. Like, you've got this innate knowledge about your hair that you just need to apply. And that's what Knotted Locs gives you without the underlying fear of your locks unraveling. So whatever size you love, you know, the Microloc size, the Sisterlock size, the small size, whatever size you like, and it's normally interlocked, the option is there for you to knot. And knotting is done in a very diverse way. And when I do my one-to-one sessions with you, I basically demonstrate, and I demonstrate various different scenarios, and then I watch you, and then I support you, and then I begin to understand what your mindset is and how your hands are working, and then I talk you through the process, and at the end we come up with a plan that is long. Like, basically I want you to have lifelong thriving locks. That's the idea, and that's why I practice knotted locks on my client's head, I practice knotted locks on my head, and I teach it in this way. And I'm evolving because I'm like multiing, you know what I mean? I'm on YouTube and on Facebook, I'm trying. I set myself this objective, right? I'm gonna go live on my Facebook private group, right? And I was determined. And even though the time is like the next day, I'm still here. So I applaud myself, right? And I hope this inspires learners. And actually, on the topic of learners, you know I'm interviewing now, so feel free to direct message me and let me know. Thank you to those who volunteered to be interviewed. Let me know and I'll be in touch. I do need to edit interviews, so that's also going to be rolled out. That's also going to be posted, but bear with me because, like, you guys, I work all the time. Like, I'm doing the work, you know, I'm working, I'm managing everything. So sometimes it can be a lot. And so I'm going to be posting my interviews, and anyone, even if this is my client, like, remind me, message me, Melissa, I'm here. You know, you can interview me. Just so people understand, there is a live community of people who, you know, practice knotted locks, whether through my online work or sitting in my chair. So I wanted to talk about color, but before I talk about color, people ask me all the time about knotted locks, and I wanted to show you. I did a share, I think it was on my podcast, about the fact that as our hair is growing, so you've seen my last post, and obviously my hair is growing. I feel like there isn't space for as many locks as I used to have. That's how I feel. I feel like I could, because it's now 6 years in and my locks are changing, I could actually join some locks because now I understand what's going on, and I could free up some locks. And I joined a lock way back, and I was like, let me just free it up. And I wanted to show you, because people always ask, what does knotted locks look like, right? Thank you, Violet Wonder. Right, okay, look, okay, this is my lock. I got it from the back. Cut it from the back. I wanted to show you what knotted locks looks like close up. So this is, right, this is what it looks like, and you can see it's mine because I got the color at the end, but this is what knotted locks looks like knotted. So there's like a crinkly, you know, but very strong, and I will kind of reattach it somewhere. I always say to my clients, if you ever lose a lock, bring it, because I will find a way to reattach it. Anyway, so that's the idea, is for you to see that's what it looks like. Now, this is what it looks like, but please bear in mind everyone's texture is different. Not even everyone's texture is different. Like my hair, I have so many different textures. So this, it looks like this because it's the back, right? It could look different on other areas. So this is not like definitive. This is not how exclusively it's going to look on an individual's head, you know, or even in areas of my head. But it's just to give you an understanding. You know, when I'm trying to knot, I'm trying to blend. You can see like it's blended. I'm trying to blend, right? So that's the idea. You could, let me tell you about this, because this came from the back. This was my softest area of my hair. Soft. This is the area that kept unraveling after 7 years. And I was like, I want to be in water, because the call to water. Now I understand when I'm getting a calling to do something, I understand it's to teach me something. It's to take me to the next level with regards to my relationship with my hair, right? And so the call to water meant my back kept unraveling every time I was washing it. I hadn't even started swimming then. And then I realized when I knotted it, like, wow, it doesn't unravel, right? It just doesn't unravel. This is the most resistant part of my head, that this lock I have separated from the lock I joined, right? And look how closely woven and solid it looks. Wow. That's what is impressive about it. It's that it's so healthy, and my back was just so much more weaker. I'm impressed. Also, you know, I don't see the back of my head. So like, I'm like, wow, you know, like I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'm still like, when I even see my client's head, I'm like, wow, it looks like this. I'm fascinated how the loops change and seal themselves. And it's amazing. But please understand this. Locks is knots. Knotty dread, like knots is locks. So all I'm doing is speeding up the process. That's all I'm trying to do. And as I speed up the process, I want you all guys, all of you, to form a really super healthy relationship with your hair. That's really what it's about. This is how I felt. I felt like Sisterlocks was great at the beginning, but it didn't mature with me. It didn't grow with me. And I wasn't enjoying it, and it was flat. And so if I exist in the world like this, then others do too. And so I just needed an option of growth. And what I find Knotted Locs gives me is that option. Like, it's 6 years and I'm now 52. And it's like, it's working for me because I can switch it up. I can change. I can, like, I literally don't need a grid because I can just blend like areas of locks. I could eventually decide where I took this down. I could eventually decide, right, oh, it's thickened up, or something's different. Like, let me just do it again. Let me just reattach, and I could. It's not boring to me. That's what I like. It's the diversity, the freedom of choice. I just wanted the freedom of choice, right? So please bear that in mind, that we already knot our locks with the interlocking. Just the interlocking is backward braiding with a tool. And because it's braided, it unravels. So you can see the movement. But with knots, it's sometimes you can't really see the movement depending on the hair. That's what I like about it. Let's talk color. I say to people, do what you want to do. and then you learn. You're grown, right? Do what you want to do when you're grown. Okay, Melissa, my hair does not curl. My hair does not curl. So with Sisterlocks, with perm, my hair doesn't curl. With my afro and trying to do, what is it? Twist out. It will just, and then it will puff up. It just would not hold. My hair doesn't hold curls. It's the same with the knots. My hair doesn't like heat. I used to experiment with heat all the time because when I started Sisterlocks over like about 18 years ago, one of the number one reasons why Sisterlocks was like, yay, I'm going to do it is you could put extensions in your hair. Back then, they were saying you could put extensions in your hair and you can heat it. You can curl it. Like all their brochure was that, right? My hair does not take heat. So just like how my hair doesn't take curls, it just doesn't like heat. So I experiment, like my hair fell when I used to tongue it with Sisterlocks, right? And I did that for a long time and my consultant never told me your hair's thinning. And then I experimented, like this is ongoing experiment. Like I've been doing this for 6 years, but this is ongoing experiment. I'm still experimenting, right? I'm still like right now I'm growing my hair, my growth as long as possible. I'm trying to grow it long to see what happens if, right? I get these directions and these intuitive directions. I can't explain it. That's how I got to start knotting. And when I have these intuitive directions, this voice that comes in that's so loud, I just have to obey instructions. And I know it's because I'm in service. I know it's because I'm a melanated, dark-skinned woman with tightly curled African hair, and I'm representing a group that is quiet, that this look isn't that popular, and might be struggling because their hair doesn't look the way it's supposed to look. When they sit in the chair or they're looking after their hair, they're actually hurting their head. And the reason and the result of that is hair loss. And they're not on social media. These people are not on social media. They're not social media people, but they want to have fabulous hair. And I'm representing that small group of women or small group of men even, who are embarrassed to say, my hair's thinning, my edges are thinning. I don't know what's going on. I wanted this size. I like the diversity of this size, but I don't know how to care for it. And that's the group really I'm supporting, I'm representing, right? And so to do this, I have to do it first to my hair. So I always say to people, don't look at my hair. Like, look at my hair, but don't look at it like that. Because my hair is a walking experiment. As I've experimented with clients' head, I'm even like, when I teach to the best of my ability, but really, like my hair is a walking experiment, right? So just bear that in mind, right? So with me, I know heat doesn't work on my head, and I know color doesn't. Like color didn't work because I went to a professional colorist and she was like, your hair will break off. It makes sense because heat doesn't work. It was really good. She said that to me actually, that don't do what you're trying to do, right? And she was a lady with Caucasian hair, but she was a specialist colorist. Right, so back to color your hair and find out what happens with your hair. Base it on the knowledge that you already have with regards to your hair when it was permed, when your hair was natural, and make an informed decision. You might decide, I don't want to color it as often. I might want to color it once a year. This product works, this product doesn't. But Knotted Locs doesn't break off your locks because you're just creating these loops, these knots. It's how you handle your hair. It's the care. And that brings me into moisture and water being really important, right? Water is so important. And so someone was asking me, why is my hair dry? They asked me a question, why is my locks dry? And they have Sisterlocks. And it's just the lack of water. Maybe that's why Knotted Locs is great. Like I'm the extreme because I wet my hair like all the time. Thank you, Natural D Luna. I'm doing well with reading the comments. I wet my hair all the time, but I swim. Like I love to swim. Guys, if I could film myself swimming, yeah, I would post it. But you're not allowed to. And I don't want to break the rules, but you're not allowed to, but I'm just loving my swimming because it's my therapy, it's my well-being. So I swim 3 or 4 times in a week. And so therefore I'm washing my hair 4 or 5 times in the week. Again, I say to you, I'm the extreme. I'm the extreme because there needs to be an extreme. The person who has the most growth, who leaves the hair the longest, wets the hair the most, oils, I do it every day, but I'm doing it so that you guys can do on the spectrum of that Microlocs and Sisterlocks, what you practice. You can decide how often you want to wet it, how often you want to oil it. Like, you can make an informed decision. You're grown and you're adult. This is me making an informed decision, customized to Melissa's lifestyle, and this is the result, right? So you will get the same when you start knotting, because the knotting removes that slippage issue. That's really what people are worried about, is the slippage and the unraveling. I don't wash my hair as often because I'm worried about it unraveling. And the grid. We weren't born with a grid. So I'm not concerned about the grid. I'm just concerned about the finishing of my hair, how it looks, the density, and then the rest takes care of itself, right? So I want you to be able to moisture your hair. So the Sisterlocks person was asking me, like, just wet your hair. Honestly, if you wet your hair and you have a certain strand type, it's likely to unravel. That's why the knots happen. That's why Knotted Locs exists. But the priority is hydration, is optimum hydration. We're talking about longevity. We're talking about your African texture hair thriving in small size locks. It shouldn't deplete because you have small size locks. It should be thriving, right? So for it to thrive, you need to wet it. Oil, optional. I love oil. You can tell when I post my work, when I'm working with clients, I love oil. But that's optional because, like, some people, oil just doesn't work or whatever. But for me, oil keeps it locked in, right? You need to be experimental, guys, with your hair, because we're getting older, we're growing, the seasons are changing, we live in different parts of the world. So you need to be experimental and be able to answer questions about your hair, not because you wear Knotted Locs or because you wear Sisterlocks or Small Size Locs or Microlocs or braid locks, even locks with extensions. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I have like wool in my hair, but you just need to be able to go, my hair is like this, because the ends are the ends, but here you're learning about your texture, what's going on with your follicles, what's going on with your scalp, your new baby hair, right? You're learning. So you need to always allow room to learn. Look at my growth. You need to always allow room to learn. So I'm just showing you realistically, I can just separate. Here's my growth and there's the knots, right? So wet your hair. That's the point I'm making. Wet your hair and making a decision how much more wetter you want it, how damp you want it, when do you want to wet your hair. Some people say, oh, I don't want to wet it in the evening because I need to go to bed. It doesn't bother me. I sleep with my hair slightly damp. My hair's slightly damp now. And honestly, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be in bed with slightly damp hair. Because for me, I've oiled it and it's a nice conditioning. When I wake up in the morning, it's conditioned. And I'd wet it again because I have to wet it because I'm going swimming in the morning, early hours in the morning. Do what works for you. But have I said enough about moisture? Have fun, have fun. Like, have fun. Like, wet your hair and see what it does. Have fun. Love your hair. Like, don't overthink it, right? So hopefully I'm inspiring you to do that. Just have fun and do what you want to do with your hair, and then you learn, because ultimately you want your hair to thrive, right? And that's why Knotted Locs exists, to help your hair thrive. Right. So did I answer the question? That moisture. Can I go back to color? Did you see my post? I'm like, my creative juices are flowing. And I just want to be a bit more expansive with the color and the wool. So I'm looking to start someone's hair based in London who can sit in my chair with wool. I can just see it, right? I have so much wool. I'm always creating. And so I would love to start someone's hair with wool, not to give you extensions, but it will be you'll have a bit of extension. You'll have a bit of, like, tiny bit of length, but just to give you color. Like I can just see knotted locks on someone with like just popping red, purple, turquoise, gold sparkle. Like I have so many colors. So it's the dream. It's the next dream is to start people's hair with my wool. I cannot wait for the first person. I'm just looking forward to it. Right. So yeah, if you know anyone, if you're in London, if you just share. Melissa's looking to start someone's hair with wool, with color, right? There's so many pluses with using wool, because I wear it. There's no other words, because the color doesn't fade. It's still popping. It's not detrimental to your, you still get your density. It doesn't affect. And when the colorist said no to me, I was like, and then she even said it's nice. So look, you can pop in red, you can, oh my God. Sometimes I'm like, okay, let me introduce this color. And then I graduate it. Like it's such a fun way to live with your small size locks. Such a fun way. So yeah, I just think there's just so many pluses. And I've had this for like, I think 10 years now. I've always played with wool in my hair. So I know it works. Right. Holes. Somebody asked me about holes in their locks. Why have I got holes in my Sisterlocks? I think I've explained this before. Some people, they just have holes because of the way their hair curls and coils. The natural characteristic of your hair. Everyone's natural characteristic of their hair is different. Like some people's hair holds a lot of lint. Some of my clients, I'm like, you've never had lint. Their hair just doesn't pull in lint. I'm talking to you about the different characteristics of locks. No, of hair, of your hair. Like I was saying, like my hair doesn't curl. Some people's hair just curls in a different way. It curls in a different way that the braiding doesn't work. So interlocking is backward braiding. Interlocking is backward braiding. The braiding doesn't work because their hair is just strong and it just moves. So that's always going to be the case. Even when the consultant, like, okay, interlocking is putting through the baby hair and putting it through the baby hair that's trying to acclimatize the environment. And if you have the kind of hair that moves backwards, just tries and then freezes, right? It just freezes, right? That's a problem, because long term, you're just going to get these holes, right? Yeah. And the more the consultant is trying to get your character, especially if the consultant has been working with somebody whose hair is easy, right? And it just tube up neat with the braids. The person who comes into the chair next, she's got that same kind of, I'm trying to get it closed because your hair needs a little bit more of a pull to encourage it, because she understands the characteristic of your hair. The problem is she's trying to serve the lock, your hair closing up, but actually it's to the detriment of your follicles. Follicles first, always. Protect your follicles, protect the root. Protect your roots and your follicles, and they will serve you for a lifetime, for your lifetime. So yes, you're closing the holes because the consultant's really getting in there and pulling it sharp, but then you discover you're thinning. You're thinning because follicles come first. Follicles come first, right? This is why Knotted Locs exists. It exists to help close, like it's a foolproof way of having your locks close together, like close together, right? So some people's hair just doesn't work with the interlocking, right? And some people's hair might not work with the knots, right? It's only 6 years, but let's have options, my friends, my sister, my community, my people. Let us have options. That's what this is about. The long-term dream is just like, that's when I work with my clients. I told you I interlock still, and you've seen my shares. I can still pass this through if this was attached to I can still pass it through, but I don't interlock heavily. It's like a tiny percentage, but I only interlock my clients. I don't like, I don't interlock my hair. I've not interlocked my hair in forever. And so when I teach DIYs, I teach you how to keep your hair separated with a knot. You don't need to interlock, because interlock is leaving it, like, it's basically giving it a certain level of neatness that my clients are given, because I don't know when I'm going to see these people next. My post used to say 4 times a year: summer, autumn, winter, spring. My clients, I do some people's hair once a year. I do some people's hair twice a year, and their hair size looks like mine, right? So I basically do their hair like that, because they end up coming the next session like 6 months later and they have a lot of growth. I need to do them close to the scalp, but I don't need to do my hair close to the scalp, because I walk around with my hair. These are my tools. I teach you how, no tools, no mirrors, close your eyes and create your loops, create your knots. It's complete freedom. It means you can be anywhere and you can have your hair, you can relock your hair. When I work with learners, when I'm watching you, then I'll give you advice in what works, seems to work for you and all of that. And we form this relationship where we're always connected. So even learners who I've learned to, and let's say you're not even on WhatsApp, you can still reach out to me, because this is still experimental. Like, it's always going to be experimental, because Melissa always does something new. So you can always reach out to me and let me know how things are going. Right, I think this is an experiment, right? And I was determined to come online and do this. And I feel like I can do more of this. You have questions, you ask me questions, and I will come online and I will try and answer it. The most important, the most urgent information you need to hear is you need to protect your follicles. And if you are having breakage, you need to hydrate your hair instantly, immediately. If you're seeing gaps are getting wide on your head, you have to stop. Whatever you're doing, just stop. Rest your hair. Now, the next thing you need to do is, when you're resting your hair, is choose the right methodology to maintain your size that you want. The right methodology and the right person. Because what's likely to happen if you sit in the chair after you've taken a break and you sit in the chair of somebody who doesn't agree with your choice, they're going to pull. Again, they're going to undo everything, all the growth, all the healing. Remember, the new strands that are coming out of your scalp, of your follicles, are baby strands. They're trying to acclimatize. They're like the seedlings. Right? And then it's tugged and pulled because you decided to wait for 2 months or 3 months. All that work is just undone. God, the pain. So please bear that in mind. It's like it's a mindset shift. All of this is just a mindset shift. Our hair's stunning. Our hair is beautiful. Oh my God, African hair is dense. It's beautiful. Even the finest strands, the characteristics, it's just beautiful. When you leave your hair alone, it's stunning. You try and cover it and you're thinning out your strands, and even the head wraps. You know, you'll notice the head wraps. When you take off your head wrap, hair is thinner. It's a lack of oxygen. You leave your hair to flourish in the elements and it would just thrive. You wet it, you wash it when you want, you clear out your pores. It's wonderful. I'm just trying for us to stay gorgeous with our hair, because there's all the other issues of aging. I just don't want us to have to deal with, you know, edges going back and all of that. I continue to share my experiences. Luna D, how do you do? I continue to share my experiences. So I'm doing that a lot on my in my Knotted Locs group when I'm working with a client. I'm also researching the option of online. But the challenge I'm having is when I'm staring at my clients and I'm looking at my clients, I can give you live 13 years of experience, 6 years of Knotted Locs, 4 years of teaching. I can give you live feedback. And I love the relationship I form online with you guys. you guys have followed me for years, and you can't sit in the chair. And so it's nice to share my knowledge with you live. So I love forming that relationship. So it's just like how I try to kind of understand what I was doing with the knots, and you can see the end result, right? Like it's smooth, and I'm trying to figure things out, and I will always try and figure things out because I'm just pro us and our hair, and I love it. And so I'm always gonna improve. And how is that gonna look? Like today, this is an experiment, and I hope it works. With regards to the wall, I've got a YouTube share on how, I think I did 2 on how I do the wall, natural de-luna. So you'll see it. It's in my posts, but also natural de-luna. I love wool. African hair is woolly, and I like the way I do the wool when I first did it is not the way I do it now. That's why I want to experiment further and explore the wool, because I'm ready. I can feel my creative juices flowing. How my African hair curls and coils. And then there's so many different ways, because there's so many different ways of attaching the wool so that it sits with the curl pattern. And then I'm just excited about the fact that I'll be doing someone's hair, and then I'll watch how the wool, I already do it on clients' hair who have established locks, but I'd love to see what it's going to be like starting from fresh wool, color, and how the African hair coils over it, because some of it comes through and it just blends. It's just wonderful. This is an area I want to explore more. And I also feel like when I eventually do the online, I will be doing like an online course. I'll be doing various different ways of placing the wool in your hair. So we all have a pop of color. All that I am, I want to share with you. And I'm grateful for my clients because they allow me to experiment all the time. And I experiment, and then I come out and I share with you. Right? I am not perfect, and I'm not trying to be perfect. I can't. Like, look at me. I can't. Right? So in my imperfection, as I say to my learners, you're perfectly imperfect. In my imperfection, I present myself to you from a place of love, because I see you. I see you. Not all of us is on social media. I am not a social media person. I am not. But I'm a hard worker, and I do the work. And I want to represent us. And I want us to celebrate ourselves and for us to thrive as we are unapologetically. Right? And honestly, it's about being offline. It's not about being online. Right? Like, I was never the most popular girl in school. Like, I'm not the one who has the most friends. I'm a private girl. I'm super private. And I just think of these people who are super private, who come online and they're watching everyone glow and pop with a certain look that they will never have. They will never have that look. And I just want you to know you're represented, right? You're represented. It's just that those people, you probably don't see them as much online, but hopefully when you see Melissa, this is me coming out of my comfort zone, Like, I am much more, you watch me when I'm with my clients offline, it's wonderful, it's private, that's really me. My relationships, even when I speak to my learners privately, they get an essence, that's me. When I teach privately, that's really me. This is me just doing the work, letting you know you're cool and you're fine. You're cool and you're fine. I don't want you to chase and go into a direction that leads you to be broken, to be so broken, because you look at yourself and your hair is receding and it's thinning, and you could have avoided it. You could have avoided it. That's why I'm here to say, I teach it online. I support, like, I'm connected to my learners. I support you. And for those who can sit in the chair, wonderful. For those who want to learn and still sit in the chair, wonderful. There are options. We do not have to choose this size and it be the detriment of our hair. That's why I'm doing this share. That's why I'm coming out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you very much. I did live. I can't believe it. I just did it. I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on the Facebook group. And I did it on my own. Any questions you have on your locks? Because I think, you know what I would like next? By the way, I don't know how to do this, but I'm just saying, like, it would be nice to have a video calling. Like, somebody dial me. I don't know how that works. And then you're on the screen and then I'm answering your question live. That would be really nice. I don't know how to do it, but like when somebody dials, I'll just answer. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this. And for those who are not watching it live, I hope whenever you watch it, it serves you. It's something you needed to hear, right? I'm gonna try every Sunday to do this. Every Sunday I'm gonna try and do this. Come on Facebook and come on YouTube. Like if you're trying to tell me something, like through the comments and I'm not seeing it, DM me because I just can't, like I struggle to multi. So just DM me, right? And then I'll come back and like I'll respond. So guys, this is what I really want to do is form a relationship, a real relationship. You don't even have to sit in the chair. You don't even have to learn Knotted Locs. You can just like me and want to form a relationship. And I want to be able to do that like with you because I'm doing market research. Let me explain. So because I'm doing like Melissa is thorough. That's why I do one-on-one, right? Because I watch and then I say to the person I'm teaching, and we back and forth, right? When Melissa decides she wants to do so, like I've done wool work for like over 10 years and I've done my clients' hair. And now I'm ready to bring it to market to start someone's hair, right? So when Melissa says I'm exploring online course, know that I'm exploring online course and I want to marry and bring together the knowledge of the Sisterlocks person currently wearing Sisterlocks, the knowledge of the Microlocs person, the knowledge of person with extensions, right? You start your small size, as long as you can interlock it and potentially you can knot it. I need to marry that together so that when I'm doing my online, I'm answering questions for all groups so that it's a one-stop shop. And that's why I need to form these relationships. Because as you're asking me questions, even questions I can't answer, I'll just let you know I can't answer. And I'm not trying to serve everyone, but what I want you to do is ask me these questions because then I can form the right answers for the future. And when I look like this, it's because my brain's working. It's not because it's like going to 1 a.m. in the morning. It's because I'm thinking, because I'm in creative mode. And when I'm in creative mode, this is what I look like. Because I'm always like, oh, how do I make notes? How do I make sure I remember that? And blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I really do want to bring together all of us with Small Size Locs. Because it's just a choice, isn't it? It's not like we should all be together. And I just feel like we're very separated. I want us all to be together and have a shared experience, or ultimately towards having the fullest of locks, thriving locks. So I hope this message helps someone. Thank you very much for watching this. I will be back next week, Sunday. If I'm not back next week, Sunday, I'll do it on a Monday. Notice something about Melissa, right? I'll put a time out, but it'll be vague. But I'll do it. I'll do it. I tell you, I spent a long time trying to come live on Facebook group, but I'm here, right? And I'll do it again next week and look out for my next interviews. People who want to be interviewed, please reach out to me. I want to just share as much of me going beyond the knots because I'm human. I'm a woman. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. And I'm you and I see you. And I don't want you to be on your own. You're not alone. You're supported. You're represented. Bye! Now I have to work out how to hang up. Yeah.